See, the Italian peninsula was divided, let's say, in two. No, let's talk about Greece. In the 7th century BC, all the Greek tribes have already arrived in the peninsula of Greece. In other words, the Dorians, the Ionians, the Aeolians, and the population has started to be overcrowded. The Greek peninsula is a very poor country, so the country itself could not feed the people who used to live there. So the Greeks started to make colonies all over the Mediterranean. First of all, because it's nearest of all, they choose Italy, the southern part of Italy, and Sicily, as well as Asia Minor. In other words, the coastal line of Turkey, of today's Turkey. So in the 7th century BC, many colonies started to appear here in the southern part of Italy and in the Sicily. And on the northern part of Italy, we have the tribe of Etruscans, which were native inhabitants of the Italian peninsula, and who started to conquer the tribes that were living next to them, and they became a very big power of the northern of Italy. Even today, lots of the cities and of the places in southern of Italy, the names are half Greek. For example, Naples. Naples means Neapoli, new town, and it was a colony. Taranto, the same. That's why they call this area, the whole of this area, Magna Grecia, which is Great Greece. It was a very fertile country, and the colonies thrived here and became a rich country, rich towns, and actually the Greeks never occupied the place. They just made a town. They traded with locals, they cultivated maybe a few things, but they never became conquerors of the whole place. And that's why probably they were in good cooperation with the locals, and that's why they managed to keep their language and their tradition. There are little villages in this area that we're crossing now that they still speak half Italian and half Greek. Lots of their words are Greek and they feel of Greek origin. So we have the southern part of Italy, which is, let's say, dominated under quotation by the Greeks, and the northern part by the Etruscans. This is when a very small town in northern part, in the middle of Italy, named Roma, starts to appear in the scenery. It becomes they are a tribe who are very good in fighting and in wars. They start to occupy the various tribes that are next to them, and they become slowly, year after year, a very big power. These are the Romans. So the Romans finally occupied the whole of the peninsula, and by the 2nd, 3rd century BC, they have conquered many places in Europe, along with Greece. So this is the time that the Romans finally occupied the whole of the Mediterranean. They managed to conquer France, Spain, half of Germany up to the river of Rhine and up to the river of Danube. In other words, today is Romania, Yugoslavia, ex-Yugoslavia, Romania and Bulgaria, Greece, the Asia Minor, as well as the coastal line of the north of Africa. Places like Tunisia and city-states in Morocco, in Libya, and of course Egypt. You know the story between Antonio and Cleopatra, hence Julius Caesar and all these things. So this is how the Romans were very good in architecture and in building roads. Actually, we have the Via Appia, which moved from the north of Italy to the south, and we're going to use it because parallel to that is today's Via Appia. And we also had in Greece the Via Egnatia. Egnatia started from the western side of Greece or Slovakia and moved to the east after the town of Byzantine. In other words, it crossed the peninsula of Balkan from west to east. The Romans, I believe, were the first who made such a good bureaucratic city-state or empire, and they managed to communicate between the empires, which was a huge one, in a 2 or 3 days period. They managed to send messages from Rome to every part of the state, of the empire. At the 3rd century AD, beginning of 4th, we have the division of the empire. It's the Western Empire and the Eastern one. And the Eastern one has as a capital the Constantinople, Byzantine, which was a city-state of Greeks in the entrance of the Black Sea. And the western part of the empire becomes city-states and smaller states by the Franks, by the Germans, with the Carlo-Magno and all these stories that you for sure you know. The eastern part becomes the Byzantine Empire, which lasts for approximately more than 1,000 years, and it was devastated by the Ottomans in 1453 when they conquered Constantinople.